Good evening, everybody. I hope you are doing okay today. It is Sunday, the 26th of January. Today we're going to talk, it's about a sensitive subject because we're currently going through it ourselves, about ARFIDS, avoidance, restrictive food intake disorder, and what it is. What is it? But first off, I just want to I didn't want to do this. To the trolls on this page, really? You really must be having a hard, bad day today. Thanks for what you did because you've actually helped the page. So guess what? I don't care. Read the description and stay along. Learn. I'll leave the door. The day is there, love. Go. Because there's plenty of other content out there. Sorry, guys. Let's move on. On Sky News today, this morning, I watched them discuss ARFIDS, Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder. So what is ARFIDS exactly? ARFIDS is a type of eating disorder, and it really struggles when I say eating disorder because you'll see why. When someone won't eat a certain food or try new ones, it's not because what they perceive of themselves, like for my instance, my little boy, like his looks, his weight, anything like that, he's 4. Bear in mind, he's 4, right? So when you mention an eating disorder in a 4-year-old, it's a bit like, really? But listen, they don't just like how some foods look, taste, feel, or even smell sometimes, even when, my kitchen's near the living room and I'll be cooking tea. A simple meal like frying off some mince will often be a massive trigger because of the smell of the fat. Some occasions, even the thoughts, I'm presuming this will be for older children. I'm not sure, but I'm very lucky that my little one isn't like this, but they even have thoughts of they might choke on the food or they might even become poorly, which I am very glad my little one isn't like that, but he certainly is with other aspects of ARFIDS, from the looks of food to the smell of it to how it tastes, the texture, the feel. Oranges, for instance, you'll peel an orange, but then do you know all them little bits of skin that are on the orange? You have to then get tweezers and pull every single one of them off. And by that time, he's gone off it anyways, like, I'm done. He's seen that himself. He's already seen it. He's like, nah. He's been put off it. Pears. He'll often say he wants a pear. He'll see the pear. He'll see the outside of the pear. You then go peel the pear, but it's slimy. It's not. He will then have that on his hands, and my little boy very often does not like things on his hands. I'll explain more to that a bit later on, but then he has a meltdown over it. It's on my hands are dirty, I have to get it off my hands. So again, you're stuck in that dilemma then, because even apples, he will sometimes see an apple and want to eat it, but the minute you cut that apple, you peel the skin off, nope, that is not the right texture. He'll bite into that and that will not be the feeling that he likes, I guess. I guess everybody is different. There is not one person in this world that is the same. We've all got our own DNAs. Let's not forget that. Sometimes they eat foods that have to be in a certain order. For instance, they have to have a packet of crisps first and then maybe a bagel, or them chicken nuggets. You know, you have to give them the ice lolly first before they have the apple juice or the you'll probably know about the Dunker jumbo tubes. He'll only eat them, but he'll have to have his apple juice first, but he has to dunk the Dunkers into the apple juice itself, which I think is disgusting, but each to their own taste. Some have trouble eating around other people as well, you know, all of the food being on the table, again, can be too much for a person to cope with. So many different smells, so many different looks, you know, different plates, different sizes, different knives, different forks, loud noises as well. You know, there is a lot to ARFIDS that really covers the umbrella that it should really, and it should have had a lot more notice a long time ago, because ARFIDS can start from a baby. You know, when you're starting to do that weaning process, ARFIDS can start from there, you know. And my son started when he was around 3 years old. Well, I'd probably say about 2, maybe even a bit less, especially at nursery. I'd often go and get the report of what he'd eaten. They'd be like the usual. He took a bite out of a burger, but no, it wasn't a burger, it was a pita bread. 2 small bites out of pita bread, and that was him done. He refused snack. Lunch was this kebab thing. He refused that and ended up having custard for pudding. So there is a lot of different aspects that can cover, you know, the certain order, having trouble with eating around others, or even taking longer to even finish their meals because of distractions. You know, my son will often run off when the food comes in. I'll be like, not today, not today. And you know, you're like, I've just sat there and made all this food. But sometimes I sit there and I think, why am I even making this when I know he's not going to eat it? But people with ARFIDS might not care about food. Like my little boy, and he goes, nope, not today. But then that could also be included with the PDAs, which I have mentioned before. You know, physical demand avoidance. You know, you're saying, here's your dinner. You're then saying, well, you're giving them that demand that they've got to eat that. You know, they've lost that control of what was going on in that situation. So then that can also include into another meltdown, which then included like, well, that caused a meltdown around food. So, you know, there's more than one role and aspect with ARFIDS, and as I have said on my page many times, we are currently going through this, and we are learning that it's a very lengthy, long process that doesn't really have much help out there. You know, I went to the doctors very recently, and they said to me, just give him a vitamin. Just give him a vitamin. You know, it's all right giving him the vitamin. Yeah, it's got vitamin A, vitamin. It's got all the nutrients that it needs, but he can't just live off a vitamin every day. So she also said the doctors can't do nothing until he is seen with a paediatrician. I have rung the place that he's supposed to be seen for his autism assessment, and we are nowhere near the top of the list yet. You know, there is such a waiting list that I don't know if it's going to be this year, next year, even before he starts school. The hope was that he would have somewhere, some form of a plan and a care plan, even his EHCP hasn't come back in time, that would be in place by the time he started school. But the system is just so slow that it's just taking longer than what it needs, and in the process, you know, people are falling, and you know, this system's broken. It really is. But anyway, people with ARFIDS can often feel, they might not even feel hungry much. This can cause them to eat too little to add the recommended calorie intake for that person, which is needed to stay healthy. You know, again, like I've just mentioned, you know, living off chicken nuggets. I will get to this, to the foods that my little one, the struggles that we have in a minute. But living off chicken nuggets and living off ice lollies, yes, it's water, and yes, I make it with as much fruit juice, fresh fruit juice, as I can possibly make it, but still it's not the nutritions that he needs, you know. Some days he'll have the days where he wants fish, and I'll run to that fish shop and go get fish, but there'll be no batter on it. He just wants, again, beige, banj, boring kind of foods. And I can say that. I can say boring, because once you've had to sit there and make chicken nuggets for 15 million times, breakfast, lunch, tea, supper, you can kind of say that, because it does become boring, the same thing. But it is what it is in our house, and it'll never really change, you know. I will get to, again, I've said this, I will get to what we do in our house in a little bit. ARFIDS happens, again, to children and adults, and is very often linked with other health issues, depression, OCD, the autism spectrum, which is what we are currently awaiting for my little one, ADHD, again, which they have put down for him, and anxiety. But listen, this is more than just being, oh, that's just fussy eating, you know. It really is. Oh, don't worry about it. Yeah, he's picky. They'll grow out of it. Oh, the worst one that I often hear is, they'll eat when they're hungry. No, they won't. They won't eat when they're hungry, because sometimes, yeah, their body doesn't even know when they are hungry themselves. So how can you say, in fact, I had this from an old lady in the cafe not so long ago. I thought, I'll just go for a cup of coffee, you know. You can sit there with the iPad, my phone, whatever, have a look, see what's going on. I bought him a cake, he said he didn't want that cake. Oh, they'll eat when they're hungry, don't worry about it. Excuse me. Who are you? You know, you're a complete stranger that knows nothing about what's going on in our lives and why he's currently being the way that he is. You know, there's no need to even I won't say anything. I'll leave it there, because they won't, you know, they often don't eat when they're hungry, you know. They will probably end up having a really bad relationship with food without the life, because they're basically force-fed to eat foods that weren't in a certain texture, look, sense, smell, you know, to them. And it causes many more issues around that food. You know, I've had it myself in this house. I have had that myself in this house. Well, I've said, well, that's it. I got brought up around saying, well, you're not leaving the table till it's eaten. I've tried that. And it doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't help. It just makes the situation 10 times, million times worse. It doesn't help. And I'm sorry. But to the people that say, oh, they'll eat when they're hungry, it's just fussy eating. No, it's not. It's not at all. It's more than that. You put a pizza in front of my son, watch him. I don't often like seeing him in this way. And I did say that this one was a bit of a hard one for me to do tonight. Sorry guys, 2 minutes. Sorry guys, I'm back. I'd say this was a bit of a hard one for me to discuss, especially it's very raw subject. Like I was saying, it is more than just that, and it won't get better without the help. I did mention about the doctors. He is on a vitamin tablet every day, but again, it is just a waiting list for the paediatrician, and by then it'll probably be too late anyway. The damage will already be done by then. Obviously, we all know you need food to live, but many, either who are waiting assessment, have had assessment, don't understand. They will often look at disgust as what's been presented to them, and I don't just mean when parents say, oh yeah, I struggle to get the veg in them. I mean, like I've just mentioned, pizza, chips, a Sunday dinner, spaghetti bolognese, a cheese sandwich, you know, going out to a party and having party food, having normal chicken and chips for tea, or having garlic bread with lasagna, you know, or fish and chips, or fish fingers. It's more than just that. This part of the spectrum I really do worry about, and as you've just seen, I've just cried over, because I'm scared the damage will be too late if my son sees a paediatrician. So we now officially have what we call a safe food and a non-safe food. So a safe food is a word used by many families. It's basically the foods 100% will be eaten, but it will often, well, it does in my house anyway, shock you, as I can go out and buy bulk. Like, I'm like, yes, fantastic, these chicken nuggets are great. All of a sudden, at the minute, he's gone off them. They're not the same chicken nuggets that McDonald's ship. The shape of them, because they're in a different shape. He now refuses to eat them. So yeah, it will often shock you. The safe foods can go to unsafe foods very fast. And also I made a mistake by putting cheese and literally a teaspoon of bolognese sauce on plain rigatoni pasta, because let me tell you, when you've been through every single pasta in that supermarket and you finally find out the one that he will use, you are very glad. But then when you go and make that mistake and that food then becomes an unsafe, he looked at me in disgust, as in like, what have you done here? Like, what have you given me? How dare you do that to my food? So he decided, nope, not today. I do feel that's his favourite word now. Nope, not today. So a little tip that I've kind of learned. I've now saved jelly pots, and I'm going to try new food. I'll often put it in the pot, and any new food I will put it in that. It's just a small little jelly pot, just a plain tub. I've taken everything off it, so there's nothing, no picture, anything else to, distract him with. And that same week when I'm doing the new food, I will often try food play with the food items that week as well. So sometimes it'll be very messy, and my little boy will require a lot of wipes for his hands. And sometimes I know by that stage already that it's going to be a food that isn't going to be quite right for my little boy. But once it's cooked, it'll be a different matter altogether. But it does take stage by stage, and just touching it is a win in our house, like a massive, massive win. Beige food, bland food, whatever you want to call it, whatever you call it in your house, whatever terminology that you use in your house as well. We call it beige, boring, bland. The same, normal. Well, apart from tomato ketchup, let's not forget that one, because that one's just, it's tomatoes. Let's go with it. It's got tomatoes in it. I am not even gonna have an argument with anyone over it's not tomato. It's got tomatoes in it. It's a vegetable. High five. But yeah, beige food, bland food is mostly what is consumed in our house. I sometimes don't even understand my child. He won't have spaghetti bolognese sauce, but will have ketchup on pasta. It's tomatoes, right? Right? It's tomatoes. He will eat Walker's prawn cocktail crisps, which potatoes, they're made from potatoes. Even the packet I have in front of me is covered. Look, some see potatoes, we see potential. See, potatoes. Don't even argue with me on it. It even shows potatoes on it. It says 100% made from potatoes. Definitely. When you look at potato, what do you see? Right? Well, all made. Look, we use sustainably sourced British potatoes. There we go. He will have jelly, which doctor's orders helps your skin and nails. So you go speak to a doctor about it, they'll tell you 1 cube of jelly a day helps your skin and nails. Swear by it. Look it up on Google as well. He will drink hot chocolate, which, milk. Warm the milk up, put it in, put like some scoops of powder in it. It's calcium, bones, calcium, something, right? It is. An apple juice, which is fruit. He used to drink smoothies, but he has now gone off them, so boo. They did say that the 1 of the 5 a day as well. But maybe I'll go back on and see what I mean about safe foods. Breadsticks, again, he's gone off breadsticks. He will go back on breadsticks again. He very often goes off some foods, and then all of a sudden surprises you. He's like, oh, I want this now. So I don't want it now. So very often you really do have to go with the child on this journey, and we are still learning on this journey, very much so. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that for now about ARFIDS. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and it's given you a bit of a taste of what it's like, the highs, the lows, again, what it's like being a centre parent and a child who has ARFIDS, and we're still waiting for help with it. Please do go subscribe and hit the bell, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.